I know. That's why I'm like, you should be more than willing, and you shouldn't want to go ahead and decline opportunities when it comes to working out with the Sixers. Like Joel Embiid.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Dom. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
What happened?
Sham Charania happened.
Wait, chat. What's going on, man?
Don't look at your phone. Let me show you first.
I haven't seen anything.
What?
Atlanta and Brooklyn are finalizing a 3-team trade that sends Kristaps Porzingis and a second-round pick to the Hawks, Terrence Mann and Atlanta's number 22 pick to the Nets, Georges Niang and a second-rounder to the Celtics. They traded Kristaps Porzingis for Georges Niang and a second. Like we said, salary dump. You guys traded your first-round pick and then the exact package we talked about for Kristaps Porzingis.
Woo, man.
First-round pick?
Yep, the pick 22. No one gives a fuck about that pick 22. I'm not going to lie. We keep our 13th overall pick. Georges Niang, shout out to you. We just appreciate the glazing that you've done for someone like Jalen Johnson and Mo Gay, giving our guys more shine. I like this a lot. This is basically nothing.
I love when this happens.
I love this. This rarely happens.
We got a live reaction. Interesting. Okay, so the Celtics are blowing it up. The Celtics are tanking, right? Like this is 2 trades in a row where they add players who are not as conducive to winning basketball. Period. There's this one, obviously that Anthony Simons, that's an opinion, but I think knowing what the Celtics value from their guards, this is a player who is not the same mold. And now they're getting Georges Niang in a second, a straight up salary dump for Kristaps Porzingis. They're bottoming out. I don't know. Jaylen Brown's safe.
He might not be, but I
don't know.
I'm still not shocked yet. We kind of expected Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis both to be gone.
Yeah.
And now they're gone.
But they're gone for nothing. They're not gone for retooling. They're gone for dumps.
But this is kind of also like a retool where all respect to Jaylen Brown and to Derek White. I don't think that they're going to be leading them to some crazy, some crazy wild record.
I agree.
And so you can go into next season. The bad part is that the East is so bad that you still might actually luck into some stuff. But you can put yourself in a situation now where you still have decent players whenever Tatum comes back, because it is kind of dangerous to do, like the Warriors did what they did because Klay was coming back and Steph was coming back. You were getting 2 of those guys. If you trade away Jaylen Brown and you are only getting back Jason Tatum, then it's a real like rebuild. And so if you want to be a little bit competitive whenever Tatum comes back, I don't think you trade Jaylen Brown at this point. I think you've made your point. Right? You don't want to pay the tax. You've gotten the 2 most unreliable people on your starting 5 out the team. Good, you're done. And now we can just keep moving. And then you go and you flip Simons, you get some more assets for that, and then you rebuild with those 3 guys. Yeah. I'm cool with that.
Okay, so Mo, for those... So, okay, well, let's wrap up the Boston Celtics thing. They trade Jrue Holiday for Anthony Simons. I think what you just said, they're going to give him usage in the first half of the season, flip him at the deadline, I'm sure they can get a first-round pick for him if they can get some good usage out of him and help him put up numbers that convinces a young team out there that he can be a guard to help them, right?
Phoenix Suns finna trade for Anthony Simons.
Something like that.
Jeez.
That's a good move. We like that trade to get rid of Jrue Holiday's contract, who has multiple years left on his deal. That was a just straight up, you have long-term money you no longer pay. This was an expiring contract after this coming year, but it ducks them even farther out of the tax. So they're not going to be paying tax whatsoever anymore because Kristaps is gone. And this to me screams, we want to be bad, right? So everything you're saying makes sense. They're going to hopefully keep Jaylen Brown, hopefully keep Derek White, hopefully get Tatum back the following year, have those guys your core 3 players, and all the cap space in the world to maneuver without being the second apron and reload. Fine. We understand. We'll see what comes next. Atlanta Hawks, Mo, how do you feel about this for them? Are you a better team now that you have Kristaps Porzingis?
I think we're absolutely a better team. When it comes to having... Also, this also means Click Plus the fuck up out of here. We have a replacement center.
He's a Laker,
I think,
sadly.
Congratulations. I'm praying for you, brother. But I think this is an amazing trade for us because, again, I stated earlier that our GM right now he realizes that this team needs... For us to have any type of success in the postseason specifically, we need size, immense size. We've got the biggest guy available in the market for fucking pennies. Georges Niang, that 22 pick will probably mean nothing for us for a team that's trying to compete as soon as possible, considering our star point guard is headed towards the age 30. He's not 30 yet, but he's getting up there a little bit. And so I like this overall. On the court wise, it makes sense. I think now that I thought about it more, Porzingis is 100% coming off the bench, and there's definitely so many times the Hawks. Fun fact, I think I learned this the other day. The Hawks, when it comes to in terms of generating quality looks, they led the league at that. But when it comes to finishing plays, we're the worst at that.
And you say quality looks. That's a mixture of open threes and shots at the rim.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And basically that just means that we have no play finishers. We have no gunners. We have no bucket getters in the simplest terms. And Porzingis at his best is that. So I like it.
The Nets now have in this draft 8, 19, 22, 26, and 27.
Damn. 8, 19, 22,
and that's
26,
nice.
and 27.
This is a deep class of role players for sure. Like those 20s picks this is a strong class. We're having a lot of picks in the 20s, I think. And
5 first-round picks in this draft.
Yeah. They should trade back from 8, low-key, and just have a bunch of those because 8 and 15, this draft is one of those ones where the top end, strong, but then you get to like 6 through 15 is real flat. So remember we talked about the OKC Thunder wanted to trade up? They have 15, 24, and 44. What if that's the Nets hear that and they're like, listen, we might have 12 picks in this draft.
Dude, that's tough.
We might have 11 picks in this draft.
You trade 8 for 15 for, what did the Nets 15, 24, 44?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would think about it. Maybe I wouldn't because they already have 4. You don't need 7 picks in a draft. That's too much.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not that.
I mean, the Nets don't have anybody.
Hey, man.
But listen, they need a young core. They need a deep young core. And even without doing that funny hypothetical, 8, 22, and what else you say? 27, 28?
Yeah.
8, 22.
8, 19, 22, 26, and 27.
3 top 22 picks? That's a good way to restart your young core.
And they still have Cam Johnson, too, who they're 100% going to ship as well.
If they can trade him for another top 10 pick?
Man.
I'm moved. Listen, the Nets, the whole thing is they blew it up last year and didn't go all the way. They didn't tank all the way and get it so they could have a top 5 pick. That was disappointing. We wanted to see them get in the sweepstakes, maybe get Cooper Flagg, maybe get Dylan Harper, whatever. Now that I'm seeing all this come together, it would be nice to have one of those guys. This is a lot of bites at the apple. This is like an NFL draft strategy where you're just like, these picks have a certain percentage chance of being a starter for us. We got to get as many as possible and have as many bites at the apple. You don't see a lot of NBA teams do that. I do like the idea, though.
Are they? It's the draft. Listen, the draft is tomorrow night. We have 24 hours. Are the Nets cooking? And do they try to cut that down and maybe take 3 and trade for somebody?
Oh, trade up?
Yes.
Either trade up or like
trade for somebody in general. Is there like a disgruntled star in the league right now who we may not see coming, who just wants to, who just may want to hit the reset button? What if they end up trading for someone? Nah, never mind.
Hold on. They could trade Claxton and Cam Johnson and get like 3 more picks
Jeez.
tonight. They could have a lot of ammo.
Jeez.
Now, granted, if they do that, they have no talent left to do anything with if you get a star. But they could trade up in the draft. Like if you're looking at a team like the Spurs who are at 2 and they say, listen, we love Dylan Harper, but we have De'Aaron Fox. We don't need Dylan Harper. You want to give us all the picks in the world and we can have a ton of depth around our guys? I see a vision.
You make all the moves and you call Milwaukee and you call their bluff. And you say, I'll give you 10 first-round picks right now. Say you won't.
What if the Memphis Grizzlies are just like, we're doing with the John Morant experience, and the Brooklyn Nets are just like, here are all these picks and whatever side we can match. Then you have, I like that actually a lot. I love that a lot.
The Nets are cooking, man.
There's so many possibilities.
That's really interesting for them.
That's the thing. They have so many possibilities. They have so much flexibility now that it seemed like when the season ended, it seemed like they had a disappointing season because their draft outlook wasn't anything crazy at the number 8 pick post-lottery. Now it seems like they have the most, exciting optionality in the entire fucking league.
2 years now, they are back-to-back, just like restructuring their entire outlook of their organization. Started last year when they randomly traded away Mikal Bridges and got all their picks back. And then now they're in a position to have all these 4 or 5 first-round picks in this year's draft class. Immaculate job.
They could keep Claxton and Cam Johnson and just if they hit on some of these picks,
Cam would not have a good time with that, man.
I don't know. They could just get decent surprisingly quick. That's a lot of opportunities to that's the type of draft that could turn your outlook of your young core around if you hit 3 of those fucking 7 picks.
That's too much.
Because we said 8, 19, 22, 27, and 28.
26 and 27.
26, 27. 5 top 30 picks.
That's insane.
If you hit 2.5 of them, half of them hit. One guy's decent, 2 are good. Win. That changes the outlook of your team.
Yeah.
They don't have to trade Cam Johnson. I changed my mind.
Man, they're cooking. I love seeing these terrible teams do not terrible things, man.
Yeah. All right, let's talk more about the Hawks in this. You say you think Kristaps Porzingis is coming off the bench.
Easily, 100%.
Are you moved now? Let's say he's off the bench and you have this dynamic big man combo of Onyeka Okongwu, who is a mobile big who can roll and catch lobs, be a perimeter-oriented big that can switch on people, block shots a little bit, really be your main defensive guy. and fits with Trey as a lob threat, right? KP is the opposite of all those things I said. Slow footage, stretch the court, get a different look out there. And you have Jalen Johnson in the middle, great slasher, versatile defender, can guard any 3 and 4, switch on to 5s, can really switch on to 1s and 2s and be fine. Very versatile defender. Dyson Daniels, DPOY level defender. Trae Young leading it all offensively. Is this a top 4 seed in the East?
It feels like that. I mean, if everyone stays healthy, of course, that's the biggest caveat in these conversations. But yeah, I love that because also, side note too, he's an expiring contract within the next year, 2 years or whatever. And so this is just a fun ass thought experiment. We lose nothing from this draft class or from this trade because Georges Niang means, shout out to you again, means nothing to us. And this 22nd overall pick for the state that this team is currently at, it doesn't mean much for us as well. It's not changing our lives at all. So this is a massive win regardless of what way you want to look at it because we get more talent into the space. And on top of the talent, this is a talent who fits really well along our core players.
They should be fighting for a top 5 seed. I think
that's easily the conversation.
That should be the floor because it's going to be Cleveland, New York, Milwaukee, Detroit, Orlando. So that's 6. So 6 is minimum. This should be the first time in a long time that the Atlanta Hawks are not in the play-in.
I don't believe you. It can't happen. It's impossible. They're destined. I can't. You said the first time in a long time. It's been so long that I'm like, I can't believe it. It's not possible. They're going to be in the play-in.
Yeah, the play-in is the Hawks Invitational.
Yeah.
I do think I like it. Also worried just because, again, Porzingis gets hurt a lot. Jalen Johnson, he gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And we do have to see Trae Young. If you're gonna do this, Trae, I need you to lock in. Yeah. I do need you to get back to the version of Trae Young that we felt comfortable, or at least the version that was leading a team to the conference finals. That has to show up.
Yeah. I mean, naturally, I think he'll be much better through a year of adjusting more into this new role and having an offense that's empowering other players like Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson. And then on top of that, too, an underlying story that has brought more into my attention because of the Achilles ruptures that's been happening between Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton and Damian Lillard is Trae was legitimately dealing with a sore calf throughout I would say like 30-40% of the year. Mm-hmm. And he would sit out randomly throughout the year. And I think he was genuinely laboring that injury. And that's part of the reason why he necessarily didn't have a fantastic year. Well, are we getting fake rumors right now?
Stop looking at the chat.
All right,
they're just spamming shit.
You guys are idiots, man. But yeah, overall, I love this move for us. I love it so much because it's low risk. We lose nothing. Do
you think there's a world in which Onyeka Okongwu could be available?
No, zero chance.
Do you think they're for sure committed to him?
I think I don't want to say we're for sure committed to anybody because anything can happen.
Yeah.
But I think right now we're super set on Okongwu being our starter. We've not hold him over the last few years, but he really, really made him prove it to us that he deserves the starting spot over someone like Capella. So I think we're set, especially because our GM randomly unpropped Thule in his interview just mentioned that we are locked in. This is going to be a big year for Okongwu, so he's super set on him and his potential. I love this.
Do you think there's any politics reason though why they might have to start KP over him? You think KP's going to embrace a bench role?
Dude, he just got traded for Georgia.
He said Luka to the Kings as she hit the Lakers.
Brother, if you don't try to troll us, they can seem a little bit real, goddamn it. But yeah, Porzingis, he should be humble because look at what you were traded for, bruh.
Georgia Niang in a 2nd round pick.
Exactly. Like, what are we talking about?
What an interesting deal, man. I'm so excited to see how
more firepower. We're also one of the most mid 3-point shooting teams in the league last year, too. And just buckets from across the area. And also, when it comes to getting defensive stops, specifically, like, causing havoc defensively. Mm-hmm. We don't have no length on this court, on this team at all. Big man length at all. We had Clint Capella. He's fucking old. Don't have that much mobility. Very limited. Kristaps can do so many things on the court, especially shot blocking, and that's something we've been missing for a long ass time.
You know what I love? I'm hearing you in this moment, and I'm happy for you. I can so envision. I can so envision a world like 6 months from now where he's like, we got to trade Porzingis. He's never available. He can't move anymore.
I will never get to that point because he was basically for free.
Yeah. You can't be mad. Exactly. That's the part you can't be mad at. So if we're grading this, you got Kristaps for free. He's an expiring contract. You did trade pick 22.
Doesn't move me at this point in time. We have pick 13, so that's why I don't give a fuck.
I would like multiple picks if I'm the Hawks. So it's not nothing. I'm just saying to say that. I'll give it a solid B- B for the Hawks.
I go B+.
Yeah, that's fair. Like it's nice they have this versatility now. They have these multiple looks they can throw. Everyone says we like Trey with a lob threat. We've never seen him with this insane stretch big threat either. So maybe that's could be a new thing we unlock and we feel differently about Trey after seeing him in this new look.
Yeah.
I like that, B-. I'm going to combine this grade for the Celtics with the Drew Holiday trade and kind of like view it as an amalgamation. What do you think it's an A? Do you think it's like this is this teardown and what they've gotten for these dumps is like the move?
I think so. I think the fact that Drew had years left on his deal.
Yeah.
You gave him the extension and then shipped him away. I think you dodged a major bullet from that perspective. Sure. And then for KP, the last 2 years have just been so weird with his availability. And so, Tatum's going to be hurt. I don't have to deal with two of these people being hurt, being in and out the lineup. So getting rid of both of them and just being out of the second apron, it's a massive, massive thing because it would be so frustrating if Tatum came back and you have no avenues to get better or to actually retool because of all these dumb rules. So I like what they're doing now.
I'm going to give the Nets an A. I think what we always say these teams that are like bad rebuilding need to do is take on bad contracts, add picks. It's the Sam Presti special. If somebody has a player they don't want, they need to have a 3-team deal. They need to find somebody that can take this guy on. Say, give me him now and give me a pick to take him. That's the playbook. That's exactly what every GM should be doing across the league. Terrence Mann is not so bad. He's like, you don't want him on your team for $15 million a year. It's a bit much, but he is fine. He's not tanking your books. You're not prevented from doing anything. You get the 22 pick for free. A+. You just slip into the deal and find the most value.
I agree. This is the best way to, after all of the carnage that their heart went through, was the year 2021 with the Kevin Durant thing happened, 2021 2022. This is the best outlook and outcome that they could possibly have. I couldn't imagine a better offseason for the Brooklyn Nets over the last 2 years at all.
The Kristaps Porzingis plus Drew Holiday trade saved the Celtics $180 million in tax penalties.
Remember? Didn't they
say that number again?
$180 million in tax penalties.
Their new owner he went in that bitch and demanded Kristaps and Drew Holiday to be traded, bro. He said, "I ain't paying no tax, man."
Yeah.
And my God,
they did it.
That's amazing. That's insane.
Good for them.
Yeah, and they're now under the second apron too, and the first, I think, as well. Damn, that's huge, and they just saved their asses. Fuck.
Wow. Okay. Well, listen, for Boston, I like it. For the Nets, I like it.
With the way the Eastern
for
Conference
you guys, I like it. It's kind of a triple win.